Hi, and welcome to TXDZNY. On today's show, I'm going to be ranking my top 7 live shows, parades, and fireworks at Walt Disney World. I'm only going to do 7 on this video because I don't want the video to go too long. So I shortened the list down to 7, and these are really my 7 favorites. There's lots of other shows that I like, but I tried doing the ones that I think are like just absolute can't misses. So what am I considering a live show? Is any like live performance, fireworks, parades, and things like that. And I'm doing it between all 4 parks. I'm not going to include any of the holiday parades and fireworks and such. You know, the Halloween parties and stuff like that, and the parades and fireworks only last a couple months. The Christmas ones only a couple months. So while those are some of my favorites, because Halloween and Christmas are arguably some of my favorite times to go visit Walt Disney World, I'm going to be leaving those parades and fireworks and such off this list. As always, what makes Walt Disney World different than any other theme park is the cast members. And with these, you're getting these cast member actors and actresses who are just make it next level. That's what makes Walt Disney World different than some of the other theme parks, is that they just make the performance so much more magical than anywhere else. And just a big thank you to past, present, and future cast members and cast member actors and actresses for just making every trip just absolutely magical for families, especially families with little kids that just have that little extra magic for our kids, that make lasting memories for a lifetime. So let's get this list started. At 7, I'm going to have Beauty and Beast live on stage, and this is going to be at Hollywood Studios. We absolutely love this show. We're 90s babies, me and my wife, so all those 90s movies just hit a little bit more home. Those are the movies that we grew up watching. It's just an incredible performance there live on stage in the back by Tower of Terror and Fantasmic in Hollywood Studios. This show runs for about 30 minutes, and I do 5 shows as of right now. Some of these times that I'm going to be telling you on how often they do the shows change seasonally. This is what they are right now in the spring of 2024. The Beauty and the Beast show runs at 11, 1, 2, 4, and 5. It's a great sing-along for adults and kids. There's so many great songs from that movie to sit there and that's pretty much it. They're reenacting the movie with these live actors, and they just do an incredible job. They promote people singing and enjoying the whole entire performance. So make sure you get into it and sing the songs. Everyone knows the words kind of these songs. So make sure you enjoy it and make a good little time out of it. It's in the shade also, which is always good for when it's warm outside or raining even outside. It's in a covered area, so it is a good little way to get out of the heat and even the rain on some days. A side note to this, also being as a drinker at Walt Disney World, is that you can bring drinks into the show. Being that it's an outdoor show, you are allowed to go get a drink or something at one of the stands right down there on Sunset Boulevard and go bring it into the Beauty and the Beast live show. So you can enjoy a refreshment while you're watching the show. But Beauty and the Beast is one of our favorites, and that's why it's sitting at number 7. At 6, I'm going to have Luminous at Epcot, which is a fireworks show at Epcot. This fireworks show debuted, not too long ago. It's one of the newer fireworks shows there at Walt Disney World. Epcot's always changing their fireworks as of recently. And this fireworks show is at 9 p.m. pretty much year round. That's generally when Epcot's going to do their fireworks all the time, and the park pretty much closes after that. Epcot being mine and my whole family's favorite park, we're always going to enjoy a nightcap of watching fireworks there. And we also quite a bit stay at one of those Epcot area resorts, whether it be the Beach Club, the Yacht Club, the Boardwalk, Swan, and Dolphin. We're normally staying at one of those for a lot of our trips. So it's very convenient to be able to be back in your room so quickly after a fireworks show, which with having little kids is very crucial to make it through these long days that they might have. I'm rather in the minority on this one. I actually like Luminous. I feel like Epcot, with these fireworks shows between the barges and always changing these shows over the last several years, are really struggling to try to find a happy medium. Illuminations was a long-running show there at Epcot, and people loved it, but there was always gripe that it wasn't very Disney related. There was actually nothing Disney related at all in the show, so people were griping that that wasn't in the show. So then Disney, is taking people's advice and trying to put a little bit of Disney into the Epcot's fireworks shows, and there's still people complaining about it. I think Luminous is a good combo of having a lot of what Illuminations had, and is also trying to mix in a little bit of Disney into it. Um, the only thing I might say is that some of the parts, the music is a little bit slow, so that they could just keep it a little bit more upbeat. Epcot's more of an upbeat kind of park, especially in the evenings with people eating and drinking around the countries. So it'd be a good thing to kind of keep it upbeat there late in the evening. Another huge pro to Luminous or any fireworks show there at Epcot is there's so many viewing areas. With Fantasmic, you got to get there early to get good spots. With Happily Ever After, you got to get a good spot. You got to get there real early. Pretty much anywhere around World Showcase, you're gonna find a spot that you're gonna have a good view of Luminous or any Epcot late night show. Since, like I said, we stay at the Epcot area resorts so often, we always try to get a spot over there by International Gateway, which International Gateway is that little area between UK and France where you can go back to the Epcot area resorts, making it when um, Luminous ends after about 20 minutes or so. You could be back in your room in about 15 minutes, so you could have your kids in bed well before 10 o'clock if you're watching back there from World Showcase in the International Gateway area. At 5, I'm going to have, for the first time in forever, a Frozen sing-along celebration. This is in Hollywood Studios, and it's pretty much just when you're looking at Mickey's Runaway Railway, it's to the left of it, going towards Star Tours and all that, and Indiana Jones. It's a live show telling you pretty much the story of Frozen. There's a couple narrators in it, and they are very, very funny. We've seen so many different ones through the years, but no matter who you get, they're going to be funny. They say a lot of adult humor, and it keeps you entertained the whole entire time. They do a lot of shows for this. They do 10 actually a day. They start at 9:30, and they go every hour, with the last show being 6:30. So there's a lot of shows of this. So there should be no reason on a Hollywood Studios day that you can't be in the show. The theater's pretty big, and it should be a must do for you on a Hollywood Studios day. They really promote singing along during this show, which my daughter, who absolutely loves Frozen, and my son, who loves Olaf, they're totally into all the songs when they're there, and they keep it so entertaining where you as an adult are also just really, really enjoying yourself. This is a longer show for a lot of these shows and stuff. It's 45 minutes, and by the time they put you into the theater and they get you in there, about 10-15 minutes early if you're waiting in line, it is going to be about an hour. But like I said, with like Beauty and the Beast, this Frozen show is actually completely indoors. So when it's a hot day or a rainy day, it's a great little thing to do to get out of the heat or get out of the rain, and have a good little hour to really be entertained indoors. At 4, I'm going to have the Festival of Fantasy Parade. This is a parade at Magic Kingdom that runs at 3 p.m. every single day, and it is a can't miss. If you're a first-time goer to Magic Kingdom, and it's really a can't miss for us every single time we're at Magic Kingdom. The music is just great. The amount of characters you see in it is unbelievable. It's got to be 30 plus characters throughout the parade. It's about a 15-minute parade, and it's just magical the whole entire time. It's just like it says, it's a festival of fantasy. So you're going to see all different characters, from princesses to some villains, and all different types of stuff. And it's going to keep you entertained. The parade seems to fly by. Being it's so popular, though, is that it is a parade that you do, if you want to watch it near Cinderella Castle, you do got to get a spot quite a bit early. You can't just go rolling up at like 2:55 and think you're going to get a good spot right there in front of Cinderella Castle for the parade. But the parade does run pretty much throughout Magic Kingdom. What we do as people who go to Disney World quite a bit, um, you can relatively get a spot rather last minute if you go back to Frontierland. That area doesn't fill up that much, but I do recommend that if you are a first time goer and you plan on only going once or twice or something, watching this thing, to go get a spot early for the Festival of the Fantasy Parade. Another pro to maybe getting a spot in front of Cinderella Castle and getting to the parade and getting a spot early is, if you have little ones, especially, is getting there right along the rope where the cast members, tell you you can't go across this line, because those characters will interact with especially kids during this parade, and just really creates some magical moments. Going back to how these cast member actors just make every single parade and show so much more magical than anywhere else. So if you do have little ones, you can benefit by maybe taking 30 extra minutes or so out of your day and making sure you get a front row spot somewhere, because there might be a magical moment for your kid. A side note to this, obviously being number 4 on my list, I absolutely love this parade show. Um, but I do think the magic happens at Disneyland is, quite a bit better than this Festival of the Fantasy Parade, even though Festival of Fantasy is just unbelievable. The magic happens at Disneyland, I think, is next level. So I would like to see Disney World in the next, year or two really try to upgrade this parade a little bit and trend it a little bit towards a magic happens type parade, because there's a lot of room for improvement to make to really get these cast member actors, get their full potential. Festival of the Fantasy is a must for us on every single trip on the Magic Kingdom day. Um, we always try doing a little midday break for Magic Kingdom days, but we always make sure we're back in the park, right around 2:30, to make sure we can see the Festival of the Fantasy Parade. So make sure you don't miss it on days if you're trying to do a little downtime or a lunch or an early dinner or something like that. Make sure you're going to catch this parade, because it's a can't miss. At 3, I'm going to have Festival of the Lion King. This is going to be my only show that I have at Animal Kingdom. Um, and it's a live show much like Beauty and the Beast and Frozen, where you're going to have these incredible cast member actors and actresses out there just reenacting pretty much the Lion King story. This show runs 7 times a day. It goes 10, 11, 12, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you do have 7 opportunities to catch it. The best advice, in all honesty, if you want to make sure you get a good seat, is a lot of people don't stay at Animal Kingdom full days. So those later shows a lot of times aren't as crowded. You really get like in front row. Where same thing is if you have kids, or even you as an adult, they'll do a little dancing and stuff at the end of the show and all that, and you're very likely to have your kid or even you get out there and dance with some of these cast member dancers and entertainers. Just like Beauty and the Beast and Frozen, they really Lion King has so many good songs, so they're going to promote you singing and having a good time during the show. They keep you highly entertained. It has a lot of funny parts with Timon and Pumbaa, and the main characters are just have incredible voices, and the whole entire show is just beautiful. There's so many talented cast member actors here and entertainers. They have some beautiful dancing. They have the tumble monkeys. The singers are incredible. As far as all the shows at Disney World, I think this one really captures a lot of the cast member, entertainers, actors, and actresses' talents the most. And that's what makes it such a can't miss show for me. Animal Kingdom as a whole doesn't have a ton to do there. It's one of my favorite parks, and there's just not a ton to do there for a full day, especially with little kids, because they can't really go on Flight of Passage and Expedition Everest and even Dinosaur and stuff like that when they're little. So being able to go to this show and keep the kids entertained is really good. And just like some of the other previous shows that I've said, this one is indoors, so same thing as if it's raining or if it's really hot outside. It's a good way to get out there and spend a good hour or so inside. The show runs for about 45 minutes, so it's another longer show, but you're going to be entertained and have a great time for that whole hour. So it's really a can't miss at Animal Kingdom, if you ask me. At number two, I have Fantasmic. Fantasmic is a nighttime show at Hollywood Studios. Um, this is an incredible show. It really takes you through a whole journey of different things with Disney. From starting out with Mickey and having a bunch of his friends to having princesses to having villains. It really tells a great story while you're in there. It's such an entertaining show and has so many different ways to entertain you. From fireworks, obviously being a nighttime show, to projections, water projections, and just different ways to entertain you. They have a whole entire river there, so they have boats going by with princesses, and they do different princess little uh, bits throughout the whole entire show with it's Moana, Elsa, and they just entertain you for the whole entire time. The show lasts about 30 minutes. Right now the show's running at 8:30, and that's for most of the year. During the winter months they will do two shows and run an earlier show, being that it gets darker earlier. But for most of the time they just do an 8:30 show. That there's only one show for most of the year. It is a show that you do got to get there a little bit early and make sure you get a spot. It's a theater, so there's only X amount of seating. This is not like a nighttime show like Epcot or Magic Kingdom, where you could kind of still see it. You might not have the best view, but you're still going to get it. There's only X amount of seats there, so yeah, you can stand in the back, but you don't want to stand for the whole entire show. So the show does last about 30 minutes. So you're going to want to try to get there a little bit early. It's a great way to finish a fun Hollywood Studios day. Obviously, Hollywood Studios whole vibe is kind of shows and having some good rides and everything like that. So it's a great way to cap it off with having so many different ways to entertain you with Mickey and friends and princesses and villains and such. Ending of this show was I absolutely love. Having the big steamboat come out with Steamboat Mickey, driving it, and there's got to be well over 20 to 30 characters on this boat. It just caps it off just beautifully, and it's actually probably my favorite finale out of all the Disney fireworks shows, and that's why it pretty much sits at number two on this list. So at one, as I'm sure you could probably guess, is Happily Ever After, the nighttime fireworks at Magic Kingdom. Um, Happily Ever After is just magical. I'm someone old enough that went to the park so much watching Wishes growing up and thought there's no way you can have a show better than Wishes. I was quite nervous when they said that they were going to be switching the show, and wow, did Disney just knock it out of the park. It's a show that, obviously I know that technology and stuff's going to get better through the years, but I hope they don't change anytime soon. They tried doing Enchantment there for a little bit, and obviously, us Disney fans spoke like, no, please bring back Happily Ever After, because it's just, I've only been to, Disney World, and I watch videos of every single nighttime show of pretty much every park, and still Happily Ever After is just like next level for me. The only thing that comes close is the firework show there at Disneyland Paris. They really knocked it out of the park with Happily Ever After. From the projections to the fireworks to the storytelling, the music is next level. I hope they do very little to ever change this fireworks show anytime soon. This is there's so many magical moments when you go to Disney World, especially with kids, that can bring even a grown ass man like me to tears watching my kids. But watching them watch Happily Ever After almost every single time will bring tears to my eyes. Just seeing that joy in their faces, it's just it's what you have kids for and why you spent the money to take them to Disney World. So really savor those moments, especially when they're little kids, because they're just absolute magical Disney moments. So right now the show runs at 8:45 and lasts for about 20 minutes. Now, obviously, being the most popular thing at Disney World, where it's going to be people want to watch the fireworks at Magic Kingdom in front of Cinderella Castle, getting good spots for this. You can't come last minute generally. Um, so I always say, like a lot of these places, if you're a first time viewer, you got to plan on getting there quite a bit early to get a really good spot. And I absolutely do recommend that. If you are someone who isn't planning on going to Walt Disney World, Magic Kingdom several times, spend that time to sit there and go and get a great spot, very, close to in front of Cinderella Castle, and just truly enjoy the whole entire show. It'll be worth that hour and a half wait that you might have to have that beautiful view. We've done this several times, and there's no better view in Disney World, to be quite honest, as being very, about near the partner statue or so, and watching Happily Ever After. So really savor that. But obviously, that's not something that we do every single visit, being people who frequent there. So we find that we get there sometimes about 30 minutes or so before the fireworks, and we'll go about half, 2/3 the way down Main Street, and you can normally find a spot somewhere down there. We normally will just hold each one of the kids, and so they have a good view, and that's plenty good. You don't have to get there crazy early. Obviously, that depends on time of the year and things like that. Another thing that's a little bit different with Happily Ever After is there's multiple ways to even watch Happily Ever After. Never mind that, the majority of the crowd are going to try to watch it somewhere in front of Cinderella Castle and down Main Street and things like that. You can watch it anywhere else in the park. You're not going to see the projections, but you're going to see the fireworks still. And then all those Magic Kingdom area resorts are going to pump in the music, and you're going to be able to see all the fireworks. Like I said, you're not going to really be able to see the projections. You might be able to from like Bay Lake Tower at the Contemporary Resort and stuff like that, but everywhere else, but it is multiple ways. And the more you frequent Disney, the more you want to kind of see different viewpoints of different things. So we always kind of like seeing some of those things. And you're almost kind of beating the crowds out of the park, because when Happily Ever After ends, it is a madhouse trying to get out of that park. I will say that I know Magic Kingdom is a really stressful day for even people without kids, but especially with kids. You're trying to get there early in the morning so you can ride as many rides as you can, and to try to get your kids to stay up for fireworks at 8:45 that are going to last 20 minutes sometimes is really hard to do. Like you've seen me say in so many of my videos, is uh, the way we do Magic Kingdom 100% of the time now is we take that midday break at one of the Magic Kingdom area resorts. It really is a game changer for Magic Kingdom days. Let's go there like at rope drop and go ride as many rides as you can in a few hour time span, and go out to the Polynesian or something and just sit there on the beach, or go to the one of the bars there, or go grab lunch somewhere, any one of those Magic Kingdom area resorts, and just kind of de stress there for a couple hours. We generally always try to make sure we're back in time for Festival of the Fantasy, but if it's like a time that we're going to Magic Kingdom multiple times in a trip, we might skip it a day and just try to de-stress, have some more downtime there more than usual. Maybe we'll spend 4 hours at the resort, and then you really can tell a huge difference with your kids' behavior and attitude and energy levels by having that downtime. It really is just too much for a kid to sit there and try to get them excited to go to Magic Kingdom at 8 a.m. and still have them fully engaged all the way until 10 o'clock at night when you have really little kids. So I always say promote trying to do some downtime in some sort of way if you can. That all being said, obviously the show is just an absolutely can't miss for us, sitting at number one. And it's just absolutely beautiful, with the projections, fireworks, and storytelling and songs. It is absolutely can't miss. It's even worth, if you're park hopping, sometimes just park hopping to Magic Kingdom for that fireworks show if you can. So never ever skip out on Happily Ever After. It's really one of those just magical Disney shows that you have to see when you go to Walt Disney World. So that is my top 7 live shows and parades and fireworks at Walt Disney World. So we had 7 at the Beauty and the Beast show at Hollywood Studios, 6 Luminous, the nighttime fireworks show at Epcot, 5 the Frozen sing-along celebration at Hollywood Studios, 4 the Festival of Fantasy parade at Magic Kingdom, 3 the Festival of Lion King at Animal Kingdom, 2 Fantasmic at Hollywood Studios, their nighttime fireworks show, and number 1 Happily Ever After, Magic Kingdom's nighttime fireworks show. I want to close out this episode by really just recognizing and making the focus of this. This is my top 7, and there's so many other great live shows at Walt Disney World that I just left out of my top 7, so this video didn't go too long. But the true talent in all this is the cast member actors and actresses. They're what make this show so much difference, as you heard me say earlier. They're the ones that make Disney so much more magical than every other theme park in the world. They really give that next level effort and just emotion into their performances, where it makes it a truly memorable day, trip, whole entire experience than anywhere else. So thank you to all the cast member actors and actresses who truly make every Disney trip magical for me and my family. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.